We are here to talk about our Buchanan Fellowship, which was called the Ethics of Information. And we did not spend as much time outside as Steve did, although we did happen to have class outside a couple of times. It was really a beautiful fall, or no, spring. I don't know what day we are in. It was a beautiful spring before COVID happened, so we spent a lot of good time outdoors. Our Buchanan Fellowship was unique in that there were actually 4 of us, and so I want to give a shout out to Bobby Smiley because Andy and I keep getting the credit, but Bobby was very much an equal partner in this fellowship. And we also had a PhD candidate in the Department of Teaching and Learning at Peabody named Sarah Burris, who was one of our co-instructors. And so she brought a lot of really good perspective based on some of her research related to artificial intelligence and education. So that was really nice. We had a group of 7 fellows, who you can see here. They stuck with us through the entire semester. 2 of our fellows, Annie and Jojo, had to return to China after classes were moved online, and so they did their best. We still kept our regular Zoom meeting times, but I think that was around 1 a.m. in China, so we collaborated with them asynchronously. And I'm going to let Andy talk a little bit about the content of the class.
Sure, thanks, Melissa. So the ethics of information, of course, is a really broad topic. And so in order to address it, we adopted a seminar-like model with each week focusing on a different aspect of the kind of culture surrounding contemporary information sharing environments. And we also brought several experts working in these spaces to lead conversations with students about the lenses through which they view information sharing. So some of the topics that we covered included algorithms, AI, and bias, fake news and filter bubbles, intersectionality, race and technology, the logics of surveillance, and privacy and intellectual freedom. And we were also joined by media theorist Roberto Simonowski to discuss data, personhood, and memory. Brian Jones from Nashville Public Library joined us to discuss online privacy tools and practices. And Stephen Dietrich, the editor of a right-leaning online news site, joined us to discuss some of the economics surrounding information biases. And students were originally, our intent was that students would play a really important role in a spring intellectual freedom and privacy event that was to be sponsored by the DISC office. So students were to choose one kind of technology or practice related to any of the topics that we discussed in the course of the fellowship and prepare a brief presentation and training on them. The idea was that we would have 2 keynote speakers at the event, and then afterwards the students would staff tables in a privacy fair-like setting to teach audience members about the tools that they learned in the class. Of course, this didn't happen due to the pandemic. We were unfortunately precluded from having face-to-face teaching events like this. But students did instead create online PSAs on some of these topics that they could then share with the class. And I believe Melissa has an example of one of these queued up for us.
Yeah, we're going to see if this works. Hopefully everyone can hear this.
I'm Chad Panlin, and this is Not So Fast. With the latest internet technology at the tip of our fingers and innovations around every corner, it would make sense to keep up with the latest trends. Whether it be an interactive adventure that takes you across the city, the opportunity to learn about who you are and where you came from, or the chance to work from home and connect with others during this quarantine. New ideas offer endless possibilities. And that's before even thinking about the tech giants that dominate our public conscience, like Facebook and Google. However, all these seemingly great inventions offer grave risks to our society. Zoom has fallen victim to video breaches and accusations of data theft, while Pokemon Go proved to be a vehicle for surveillance capitalism. The public has grown wary of Facebook and Google after one too many personalized ads and congressional hearings. Thankfully, hope is not lost. The EU has enacted General Data Protection Regulation, ensuring that all citizens of the European Union can browse and share data safely. Tools such as secure browsers and Safeguard can protect us from data theft and the spread of misinformation. To keep this effort going, we must do 3 things. First, educate ourselves. This doesn't mean reading privacy policies or terms of use, things that would take minutes, hours, days, but simply learning what companies do and how they intend to make money. Next, we must avoid the impulse. Before hitting that download button, stop for a moment and ask if what you're doing is safe and worthwhile. Finally, we must follow the European Union's lead and support data regulation in the US. We can make the internet a safe and secure place and prevent our data from being stolen by simply saying, not so fast.
Okay, that was the end.
We really liked that one, particularly because it captured what we were trying to go through with the fellowship, which was exploring both the technologies and also just the cultural practices surrounding those technologies. So, Jack had explored some particular privacy-enhancing tools, but then also just the idea that we need to educate ourselves and stop and think about our activities online and how they're impacting ourselves and society.
We also liked that we encouraged them to have a call to action with their PSAs, and so I felt like his was very inspiring and was small things, but then also big things, so it can inspire people to take some action. And this is just a quote from one of our students. One of the things that I know Bobby and Andy and Sarah and I really appreciated is that our students were coming from all sorts of different disciplines. So we had a pre-law student, women and gender studies, medicine, neuroscience. I mean, they were coming from all over the place. And so they all seemed to really vibe with each other. And there were some healthy debates, especially when Andy, what? Not the fake newsman, but what are we calling him?
I'm sorry?
Well,
you cut out just before fake newsman.
Oh, yeah. It's because I forgot what we were supposed to call him. That's nicer than that.
Oh, well, yeah, I think fake newsman is probably fine, though.
We had our fake newsman come in and talk with the students. There was a lot of healthy debate. So, yep, that's our fellowship. We had a lot of fun, and it was a very rewarding semester.